Hello and welcome to another one of our videos. This is our 67 plate BMW 335 Xdrive M Sport Touring with the 8-speed ZF gearbox. The car's finished in Glacier Silver Metallic. It's covered 32,961 miles. The whole car has been detailed, machine polished. Have two guys that spend a whole day on the car. One of the guys, Dan, he concentrates on the outside machine polishing, and Peters does the interior of the car. So they both have their own area of the car which they work on. So we've got a lovely shine on the car. We're coming close. I'll just take you across the front. So there's going to be the odd tiny little stone chip. There's one just in the centre of the screen there. The overall appearance is really good. Just a little one on the sway line there. If I come back out, you can just see how small that is. I'm really, coming in close to show you those little marks. We come across the front. We've got a little tiny one in the middle there. But it's just on the front edge that you get a couple of. It happens on all these BMWs. They have a very hard acrylic lacquer. And so when stones off the cars in front flick up, they do tend to sort of chip quite easily. But as you can see, the rest of it's really nice, and the windscreen, etc. is all okay. We come down onto the bumper. Again, there's a couple of very small little chips down at the front, a couple just on the face there, but nothing nasty. We've got the LED headlights, front and rear parking sensors, front fog lights as well. We've put some black gloss grills in the car. In fact, while I'm here, if I could take you up onto the roof as well, just show you the door mirror there as well. So there's no bird dropping stains or scratches up on the roof. We've had a good look before the video, just checked it all over. So I'll just show you around the top there. If I come out, give you a side view of the car. We've got the 442M alloy wheels, the 19-inch wheels, with the M Sport brakes, which are a bigger caliper and a bigger pad and disc, so much stronger braking. There's little lights, LED lights underneath the handles, and puddle lights underneath the doors as well. We've got the LED lights at the rear of the car as well. Just come down, show you all of the bottom of the bumper, even the exhaust are lovely and shiny. Come up onto the top edge. See, there's no damage up there. And this one was obviously debadged. I think it's on the actual printout. They obviously didn't want people to know what they had. So the 335 is an Xdrive. And the window at the top of the tailgate opens up separately, like so. Just show you that, and then we'll come round the car a bit further, and then we'll come back to the boot actually. Just want to show you the outside of the car first. Try and point out all the areas where you potentially get scratches. It's all nice and clean around here, no scratches from the fuel pump or anything. Look down the side of the car, no ripples or anything. Show you the rear wheel there as well. All of the alloys are good. We've got Bridgestone Potenzas on the car. We've got sun protection glass at the back. A really nice looking car, the Touring, for the BMW range. I actually prefer it to the Saloon. come around and show you the alloys on the near side. So there's the near side one there. So the 442M alloys, you'll notice that one spoke is slightly thicker than the other, whereas the 704s are like an even spoke. Both are the same size, and the pattern is taken from that. That didn't really make sense, did it? But anyway. Right, we'll take a look inside. I'll just point out, there is a tiny little stone chip on the door handle there. We have touched it in, but it didn't match that well, so we'll have another little go like that. But like I say, what we don't want to do is sometimes if you start painting bits and pieces on a car, and you know, quite often, no matter how good the paint shop is, there'll be a little telltale sign somewhere, maybe a little bit of overspray and a little bit of rubber. People get the wrong impression and think the car's been in an accident. So unless it's something nasty, like a scratch, and we need to paint the panel, we'd rather keep it as original as possible. And some people have actually said that when we've had cars coming in, they'd like to assess it themselves because they don't really want to have anything painted unless it's really necessary. Ooh, finger in the way. So we've got the Harman Kardon sound system. So 16 speakers with the Harman Kardon, bigger amplifier. Got speakers there, we've got speakers underneath the seat as well. Additional speaker up on the top in front of the iDrive's display, and up on the ceiling at the back, I think they are in the corners. Can't really, yeah. They're right at the back actually. Well, yeah, you can just see them at the back of the roof lining. The black Dakota leather. All in really nice condition. Just going to see, we've got USB and auxiliary in there. It is a sliding armrest as well. The professional navigation iDrive wheel, which is where you can write on the top of that pad and put the navigation details in or search for music. We've got heated seats, dual climate control. We've got heated steering wheel on this one as well. So come the winter, keep you nice and warm. You'll notice all the seals, really nice and clean, as are the door rubbers. These cars are cleaned really thoroughly. It's not that we have dirty cars coming in that are exceptionally dirty. We just like them to be exceptionally clean. After all, this is a big purchase for many people. Second biggest purchase after a house usually. So you want to make sure you prepare it as best you can. You can see the puddle lights underneath. See all those door shuts, and no scratches from jammed seat belts or anything like that, or the rubbers. Nice and clean. And the leather, got centre armrest, folding centre headrests, the back of the seats, and the back of the centre console, all in really good condition. Come out there. Obviously we've got the anthracite headlining. So we'll come round to the boot. Now the boot, I'm going to use the handle, but you can use the key fob to open the boot. And you've got a button up on the top here as well. This is where the warning triangle's kept, just under here. Couple of little, they look more in the camera than they actually are. Tiny little scuff mark there. Remember, you know, the car is nearly 4 years old. And then if we have a look on here, this is all in really nice condition. So is the security net that comes up. I'll just show you that. So you can pull this up. Obviously, if you've got a dog, it's very handy. But also, when the seats are down, you can locate that bar in those black fastenings there. So when the seats are dropped down, you can then lift the net up behind the passenger in the front seat, driver's seat, and they connect into the ceiling. There's some little cupped bits for the bar to stick into, and that will stop anything falling down or falling forward onto you in case you have to brake hard. We've got a 12-volt socket in the back, and then these little convenient hooks for carrying the carrier bags. All nice and clean in there, first aid kit. And then we have some storage under here as well. Let's move this paper out. So the extended storage, we have this separation bar that's like telescopic, and that will sit into these eyelets and run across to the other side. There's two different locations you can put them in, and you've got the extended storage, the elastic bit to put something behind so it doesn't roll around, and that will separate stuff in the boot. And this parcel shelf here will actually fit in when that's being used along there, and fits into that section that runs across there. You can see the boxed bit here and here, and we've got the locking wheel nut, etc. Bit of netting there, all in good condition. Just take a look at that top part of the bumper. Sorry, it's very bright outside today. The iPhone that I'm using is trying to cope with the change in light conditions. Probably need to get myself one of those gyros to hold it with. And then we can close the boot down. As I say, parking sensors front and rear. Take a look in the back now on this side. Can't remember if we looked in the back on the other side or not. Let's have a good look on this side. So door card, all in lovely condition. And the door shuts all the way around. Sorry about the glare. It's very sunny outside, which is playing havoc with the light in the showroom and the light outside. But I think you can get a good idea that the interior is in really nice condition. Okay, so let's take a look. Got the LED lights under the door handles as well. Let's flick these lights off. So driver's door card, no damage on there, that's all clear. We'll take a look down the edge as well, because that's another place I've noticed in the past where you get seat belts stabbing holes in the end, but that's all good. And foot plate, etc. Rubbers. And then the driver's seat. When I'm videoing, it does pick up so much of the reflection of the light above, but the seat looks in really nice condition. You know, this headrest is angling forward. There's a button on the other side. You just press it and it will tilt back like so. And then we've got extended storage to the front there. Little cubby hole that pulls out. Okay, we're going to jump in the car. And start her up. Service isn't due till next year now. So we've got 32,961. I'm going to pop the lights back on. Now we've got heads up display on this car, so I'm going to show you that first. Let me just try and get this in focus. Bring this forward a little bit more. So using the buttons on the left hand side of the steering wheel, there's a mode button. And there we go. You can just make out in the just above the grille of the car in front. There we go, that's better. It's funny because only the driver can see this. You can't see this from it's a reflection from straight behind the steering wheel, but lines up with the driver. It's eye line, and you can adjust the brightness, etc. If we go onto the sat nav screen, let's just pan out and get this. So if we come into, where we go, my vehicle, iDrive settings, down to displays, heads up display. Now just while we're here, if you turn off the heads up display, when you use the mode button here, it will then revert down to the full black panel display. Music collections, the hard drive, and if you have the phone connected, it will connect to the phone. So if we come back here, put it back to the heads up display, and you can see it'll give you on the heads up display the navigation, control messages, entertainment and telephone, and the route ahead, and the cruise control speed as well. So it gives you lots of information without you having to look down. We've got the in fact, we're flipped straight to map, and as always, if we go into map, put it in perspective mode. So if we press number 8 down here, we can save that screen. If we go back onto the map views, whoops, that one, and doing direction of travel, which is looking straight down, which is a much better view if you're in a big city and you need to count how many roads to your next turning. You could save that on number 7. You can save telephone numbers on these buttons down here as well as radio stations. And then if we just press number 8 now, you'll see we can flick between the two views. So quite a handy option there. We've got media, we've got DAB, FM, AM, music collection as we've mentioned. If we go to the left and go left again and come down, we'll also have the phones that you can connect, and you've got management of the Harman Kardon Logic surround sound, and the if we come back up, actually, sorry, come back up and go equalizer. You can adjust the equalizer, give it a bit more bass or whatever you prefer. If you reset it, it will reset those all to the center. There you go. Okay, and come down, we've got the dual climate control down here, heated seats as well. I'm just going to check on my spec list. We've got the heated steering wheel, concierge, so extended storage, high beam assist we've mentioned. Fan speeds just come up, so we can take that down there. Got the books in there as well. Just incidentally, on the iDrive, if we go, oh yeah, if you double press some of the buttons, you'll get a different screen. So you can go in this way, iDrive settings, displays, units, pop-ups. Now if you don't have the pop-ups on, for example, when you use the driving modes, you'll notice they pop up like so. If you turn the pop-ups off, these won't display. So you've got the Economy Pro setting. This is to give you much better fuel economy, and basically it'll make the throttle feel a bit flatter, but it'll change the ECU settings on the engine to change the gear up. And also, when you take your foot off the throttle, you'll notice the car sort of rolls on more. It's got less engine braking. It almost goes into like neutral. So you get better fuel economy. And then when you go into sport, you can see the sport displays. You can change this to pounds per foot and BHP as well. And that will give you a much more responsive setting. And then if you go into Sport Plus, it'll turn part of the traction off. If you come down to the gearbox, with the gearbox, if we put it into gear, into drive, if you go over to the left, it'll then put it into sport. You can see we've got S1 down there. I'm going to take off the picture with the traction off. So we've got sport. This one, as soon as you touch the paddles, it'll go into manual mode. Now, while it's in sport on either setting, you might forget that you're in manual mode then. You just need to flick it back over to the right and it'll go back into auto. So we've done all that. We've got the iDrive wheel here. Just move my piece of paper out the way of the spec on. No rips or anything in there, all in really nice condition. The high beam assist is on the end of the indicator stalk just there. You've got auto lights, auto wipers. Right, let's make sure it's in park. Then check out under the bonnet, 2 pulls. So the 335 is a twin powered turbo, which is dual cool, which is like 2 inlets on the turbo, which essentially what it does is it allows the turbo to spin up earlier, so you get less lag and better performance. And there are 2 turbos on the 335, a smaller turbo and a larger turbo. So the smaller turbo requires less pressure from the exhaust emissions to spin up, so it comes in early, so you don't have that lag down low. And then the bigger turbo will spin up as soon as the pressure is increased from the exhaust emissions to give you more power at higher revs and higher speeds. So the engine bays, they're all cleaned by hand. We do have a steam cleaning machine, but we're very cautious around the engine bays. Most of this is cleaned with a brush and WD-40 and then a sort of a dust off lightly around the outside. We don't like swamping the engines. And any leaves that have been collected up in the gullies up here are hoovered out so that they don't turn to mush. If you jet wash them, you're just going to blast them into a mush. And you've got items like the ABS unit in here, so you don't want that filling up with water. So you don't want to block up the little gullies that release the water down below the or behind the mud flats, because they generally will drain down behind in there. So all nice and clean under there. Can't remember if we went up onto the roof of the car, but just to finish, all nice and clean up there. Already checked that it's scratch free. So there we have our 335 Xdrive, and for those of you who don't know, it's not a permanent four-wheel drive. Four-wheel drive is engaged when you put the throttle down hard and put it under hard load, it would engage four-wheel drive. Or when you're on a slippery surface and the traction starts to come in, it will engage the four-wheel drive then as well. I think I'm not a big fan of silver as a rule, but I have to say the BMWs, it's a nice silver. I think the Glacier silver is very much slightly lighter than the older titanium silver, but with the darker tinted windows, the sun protection glass and the wheels, it really does look really nice. You know, I'm not afraid to buy the colour combination. I think it looks really nice in the BMW, and we sell them all the time. Thank you for watching the video. Take care, enjoy the weather, and give me a call with any questions. Bye.